Welcome to another episode of This Month in Below Average Intelligence. I'm your host, Grand Tour of Ancient Egypt. Our first story today comes from Charlottesville, Virginia, and the Unite the Right protests that took place there at the end of last week. Images have surfaced of right-wing protesters doing their side multiple favors by sporting literal swastikas, doing literal Nazi gestures, wearing literal Klansman robes, and running people over.
This city is run by Jewish communists and criminal niggers.
That the radical left, corporations, and the state are all on the same Jewish side.
Absolutely unfair.
Now, this is usually where I change my rhetoric from
Nazis can't possibly exist in modern times because it isn't the 40s, we're not in Germany, and there's no literal Führer,
to something more to the tune of
actually, this is the radical left's fault. Because if you just call white men Nazis enough times, this is what happens eventually. This proves how meaningless and unsubstantiated that label is, right?
White dudes actually look better now I said this, right?
But I'm not gonna do any of that. Instead, what I'd like to do is ask you morons to lighten up for a bit, listen to your critics for a change, and consider that, like all this decade's truly fearless paragons of wit, maybe they were doing all of this for the sake of comedy. And let's not forget freedom of expression and democracy. Now, I do my research thoroughly, so I do know the rights that Americans, real ones, were given by the founding fathers. Now, what this should mean is that I retract some of my statements that groups like Antifa and BLM are committing terrorism as opposed to exercising this freedom to do whatever the fuck that apparently all of us have. As long as we call it expression. But they are. They are. But also, so are these guys. Except it's about being called things on the internet. As opposed to petty shit. Like. Oh god. Oh my god, what have I done? Uh-oh, what's that noise? I'm getting updates from my correspondent overseas. And, yes, just as I thought, the reality is this. All the Nazi/KKK imagery has been edited into the news footage via After Effects. All the Sieg Heil pictures are just out of context still frames of people waving cheerfully at a passing raft full of immigrants, and the guy in the car didn't like Trump. Well, looks like that's another told you so and a win for my side. Usually I would wait till I have all the facts, but we got those last week and I've ignored them successfully, so not to worry. Fucking hell. Our second story today comes from Google, where in a stunning display of insert buzzword here, a guy got fired for stating biological facts about why women are less apt for engineering jobs than men. Isn't it fascinating how the left used to be all about scientific truth and evolution, but now that the right or conservatives or whatever point out biological differences between the sexes, you know, the two ones, they get shit. This speaks to a larger social problem, namely that everyone is dumb except for me. Like, yeah, you could make the argument that more recent and more importantly advanced research indicates more to biological diversity than the 1/2 of mankind pisses while sitting studies I got to read in my elementary school books from the 90s. But that's like saying you can calculate the square root of a negative number even though I learned you can't approximately 6 weeks before I dropped out of 4th grade. Our third and final story today is North Korea. I didn't really look anything up about this. Is this the one with Gangnam Style or the one with the bad guy from Team America?
go to audible.com and look up my anti-gay bacteria milkshakes, only $99.99.